Can we impose a moratorium?
Kept me sick for 2 weeks.
No, it's my lipstick. Thank you. I cannot live without my lipstick.
None.
Well, no, we want to know at the end how many you have.
Oh, yeah, very well coordinated.
The live.
Welcome, everyone, to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustee meeting. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. If you'll all join us and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If our Clerk Brown would do the roll call, please.
Praviti.
Present.
Nicely.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Milam.
Here.
Reinhold.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Brown. Here.
Okay, all present. Next, you see the agenda before you. If there's any additions, deletions, or motions, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next is the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of January 16, 2026, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of December 17, 2025, accept the Building Department monthly report of December 25, accept the minutes of the Zoning Board of Appeals minutes of November 3, 2025, accept the minutes of the Planning Commission meetings of November 13, 2025, and December 11, 2025, accept the Treasurer's report of the fourth quarterly Treasury report ending December 2025, and accept the Robinson Capital quarterly report December 2025.
Mr. Supervisor, I would like to make a request to move agenda item 4.7 to item 5.1, moved agenda items, and have it there for discussion, please. And I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the item 4.7 moved to 5.1.
Support.
Okay, that's a motion by Brown, supported by Chaplin. Roll call.
Brown, yes. Chaplin.
Yes.
Milam.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes, motion passed. Next now is 5.1, accept the Treasurer's fourth quarterly Treasury report ending December 2025.
Okay, I moved, Mr. Supervisor, I moved item 4.7, the Treasurer's report, to item 5.1, and I have, we can pass that down, just quick information for the board to review. Most of the Treasurer's report is very good, and we really appreciate it. But on pages 5 and 6, there's a couple items that I wanted to point out, and so I'm going to take the opportunity to do that if I could.
No.
Do we, Siebert, is me one? Do we have one?
I think you got enough.
Okay, great. All right.
I'm going to get 3 pages.
It is 3. It is. Okay. I'm just stating that this is regarding Treasurer Nicely has his Treasurer's report for Q4, which, like as I said, it's excellent. It's very good. However, a couple items we'd like to point out that I think are possibly inaccurate. On November 5th at our board meeting, which was held at WBRW, it was stated that we had a temporary negative balance in our accounts. It lasted from October 13th, and it was rectified by October 16th. That's correct. And at that time, there was some disagreement between the role of cash flow monitoring and forecasting, and we consulted with Plant Moran, and they clearly stated that that is cash flow monitoring and forecasting is the job of the Treasury, not the Finance Department or the Clerk's Office. But in the Treasurer's report, which you have in your packet, on page, pardon me, excuse me. The fourth, okay. Page 5, excuse me. Page 5, the fourth paragraph. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Right here, it looks like this. Okay. Page 5, the fourth paragraph of the account deficiency update, it is stated, on October 9th, the Treasury Department issued a check request for a statutory tax distribution in the amount of $3,732,186.33 to be released on October 10th, 2025, with sufficient funds available in the applicable general ledger GL accounts, which reflected an available balance of $4,056,774.40. Based on this verification, there was a remaining surplus of $324,000. Upon further reflection and study from our finance department, if you look at, there's an attachment, a page that shows all the checks that were actually part of that check run, and it says the actual check register for the Charter Township of Washington, check date 10/10 through 10/10/25, that's the attachment. It shows that there were a total of 77 checks, including the 8 checks that totaled the $3,732,000 that the treasurer reported. But however, there were 69 other checks at that time, part of that check run. So treasurer nicely signed off on the check run for 10/10, which the total is actually $4,650,563.73, and not, which was greater than the available balance that he stated of $4,056,774. So actually, there was not a surplus, there was a deficit. Okay. So he stated correctly that he did do statutory tax disbursements, which is his job, which is great, but that was only accounting for 8 checks of the 77 that were part of that check run. So the actual shortage was based on the other checks as well, the total checks remaining of $918,000. Also, on the next page of his report, he's stating that, page 2, also transpiring at the same time as that temporary deficit, October 10th through October 13th, we also had a check that was presented for McDore, Macomb County Department of Roads, for the Powell Road paving from 30.5 to 32 Mile Road, which is a project that was begun in December of 2023. And it was being completed in 2025, which was correct. The check was requested, it was cut, the treasurer and I signed off on it, and the funds were released by the Treasury. But because of the size of the check, I hand-delivered the check to McDore on Friday, September 12th, 2025. That check was cashed September 23rd, 2025. So here we have another large check being deposited at a very close time as the other amount that the treasurer reported. On page 6 of the account deficiency update, the treasurer states that I have requested additional information and raised this concern during accounting and finance meetings, actually called Treasury finance meetings, to seek clarification on how this condition occurred. However, as of the date of this report, no further information has been provided. Well, our Treasury finance meetings are almost every week, and they include the treasurer, the supervisor, the clerk, the deputy clerk, and the 2 finance directors. And we reviewed our notes from all the meetings that we had, and there were never any requests from the treasurer seeking additional information. We just thought at that time that the check from McDore, the $3.2 million check, was the one that caused the temporary deficiency. And now this is the first that we're hearing in this report that that the treasurer is saying that it's because of statutory tax disbursements. So we are just stating that we have worked very hard with the supervisor and the treasurer. The clerk is in charge of finance. We have worked very hard with them we've spent significant time and effort modifying invoice payments based on vendor terms, providing detailed reports, and updating vendor payments, and identifying which obligations could be prioritized ahead of the 30-day terms. That was a little blip on the radar, but we made sure it was corrected, and also the treasurer did transfer funds that we had from investments to rectify the situation. I'm stating this because although his report is very good, a couple of what he's alluding to, stating that the clerk's office and the finance department, we're not doing our job, and we are working with them, but cash flow and cash monitoring remains the job of the Treasury because they take in the funds and they release the funds. We can only cut the checks. So, and we continue to work with the executive committee, and we work extremely collaboratively with the supervisor and the treasurer to overcome this temporary shortfall. Thank you.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the accepted treasurer's fourth quarter treasury report ending December 2025.
Support.
I have a question, Audrey.
Question on the motion?
Can I ask a question before we go to that?
That's why I said question on the motion.
Oh, thank you, please. So Audrey, when I followed what you're saying, and basically what you're saying is the blame was placed potentially in your department. And you're saying that this blame, it shouldn't be placed on your department, that it was an effort that would have been caught at the treasurer's department. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because checks are requested, and then they come to accounts payable, and we will cut the check, but the funds are, but we make sure that we cut the check according to the terms of the agreement that we have.
Thank you.
But funds are dispersed through the Treasury. We cannot release funds. We don't have them. The Treasury takes
So my
in
next
money.
question is, Mike, did you want to answer or speak to this then? Because what it sounds like is there was an error coming out of your area. Did you want to add any comment to that or anything?
Sure. On October 31st, I received an email from Clerk Brown that says, I concur with Christine that there are misrepresentations of the third quarter treasurer's report and that the responsibility for monitoring daily cash and rendering projections lies with the finance director, not the treasurer. Is that what that says?
I'm not
No.
questioning, I'm asking
No.
you didn't give us that information. So I'm asking you, do you have a rebuttal to this, or is this truly
No,
the situation?
The Treasury Department checks the GL when they make the tax disbursements. We had enough funds in the GL tax disbursements to make that disbursement. There was approximately 700, I don't know the amount that's left over, but there was more than enough left over in the tax representative check account underneath the GL number for the tax disbursements.
So,
Is this an ongoing, or is this like a one-off? Is this, everything's in balance now? We're good? So this was just a one-off cash flow issue?
It should be because they were paying invoices immediately. We told them to pay on terms, so they've started that finally a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so everything's back the way it should be. We had a temporary hiccup, and it's just between you guys figuring out between your two departments who's going to handle what. You guys have a different opinion on it?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well,
Well, Plant Moran verifies that cash flow monitoring, daily cash flow monitoring and forecasting is the job of the Treasury, not the Finance Department. Because we don't take in the revenue and we don't release the funds.
well, I would suggest then that that the executive committee look into that, and you guys can get a statement from Plant Moran
We have it.
that would, or somebody to say who should do what, and we can call it a day, rather than fighting this out for months long.
was there fees involved with this shortcoming? Do we have any NSF fees or anything like
did.
that?
No, everything was covered.
No, we actually-
Everything was covered.
Treasurer Nicely, can you answer that, please?
Yes, we did have NSF fees.
Can you tell me the approximate amount?
It was, I got to go off my memory, but it was close to $20,000.
Well, this, if I could make one more comment, this was not brought up again because we really believed that the check from McDore, which was a project that began 3 years ago, and by the way, I was not at the township 3 years ago, neither was the finance director, and it could have been a tracking issue, that the project wasn't tracked properly, and that could have also caused the temporary deficit. So we didn't focus on it anymore, and we were kind of surprised that in the treasurer's report, quarterly report for this month, that they're bringing this up again because we thought it was over. So enough said.
Mr. Supervisor, if I can ask you, you're in the middle of this, literally. Is this fixed? Is
Fixed. This was back October 13 to 16, yeah,
Okay, so this issue's fixed. It's not going to be happening again.
as far as I know.
Okay.
October of 2025 this happened?
Yeah, it was at the meeting at WBRW.
I remember the meeting, but I'm saying, I don't recall unless I missed the memo about a $20,000 NSF fee.
They both talked about it that night.
I don't recall that dollar
I
amount.
think they
That's-
just brought it up again because we got a room full of people now, that's why. That's the reason.
Absolutely not. I take exception to that.
Okay.
I appreciate it. It was just because it was the
I
third
don't-
quarter and we're now in the first quarter. So.
Yeah, I don't remember
No.
the NSF fee charge. Do you recall that notification?
See a lot of numbers. No, I don't specifically remember.
I mean,
but
I think I
can
would
provide
remember if we had a bill for 20,000 that we paid in,
You know, Supervisor
Fail out.
Praviti, I would have brought this up whether we had one person in the room or 200, it doesn't matter. It's
Okay,
in the
that's good.
treasurer's report, and I thought it was inaccurate, so I stated it. It has nothing to do with how many people are here. That's a very poor thing to say.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
Too bad we didn't bring it up in
Motion.
October. So there's a motion on the table.
to accept the treasurer's report?
Yep.
I
Seconded.
support.
I already supported it.
Okay.
I know, there was a
Support.
question on the motion, so roll call.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? I'm sorry.
I made the motion, Dennis
Okay.
seconded.
Thank you. Okay. Praviti,
Yes?
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold,
Yes.
Mylum,
Yes.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Nicely,
Absolutely.
Brown, no.
Okay. Next is comments from the audience on agenda items only at this time. If you have a comment, you have 3 minutes, come to the podium, state your name and address. We have a section at the end of the meeting for anything. Going once, going twice. Okay. Legal counsel? Okay. Unfinished business, none. Going to new business, 9.1, the appointment of Zoning Board of Appeals alternate. We have Kim Hodson. She's been on it for a term and a half. I'd like to reappoint her for another term as the alternate. She has been available at the last minute when there's a reason for an alternate. So that's my motion to reappoint Kim Hodson.
Second,
Seconded by Brown. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Praviti,
Yes.
Brown, yes. Nicely,
Yes.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Mylum,
Yes.
Reinhold,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Okay, motion passed. Next is 9.2, the 29-mile road water main extension and pathway. We got Mike Kozak here from Giffords to explain it.
Good evening. I'll try to not give too much history. We started a design to install about 900 feet of water main along the north side of 29 Mile Road to help keep our two districts, medium and low pressure districts, separate after the ITC water main went online along Albert Drive. In doing so, we have to remove and replace some existing pathway that's out there today, as well as we'll be kind of running the water main along a route that made sense to extend pathway all the way to the west and actually provide a connection to the Macomb Orchard Trail. What that's going to do is give you guys a loop all the way up the trail up to 30 Mile Road over to Albert Drive, and then along 29 over to Albert Drive and to the north. The only gap, you could almost do a complete bike loop of almost 2 miles. The only gap there left would be once the rest of Albert Drive gets developed. You'll have a full loop as that road goes in. So this is just simply to amend our contract to provide some additional surveying and design services to include that pathway, all new concrete pathway along that entire length, secure a couple easements along with the water main that'll be both pathway and water main easements, and to add that to the project, which will be bid later this spring. The design on the water main's done. We're just working on getting those easements secured, but we thought this made sense to add, reviewed it with the Water and Sewer Committee, they agreed, and that's what's before you tonight.
What caused the additional $169,000?
Nothing so far, but that would be an extra 1,000 feet of pathway that doesn't exist there today. So that's just an estimate of what that cost is. We're going to package that in with the water main project. Final bids will determine. You're not authorizing the construction of anything at this point. It's just additional design, so that'll be on those plans. This is a gap that's included in your overall sidewalk plan to help create these connections here. We'll have sidewalk now on both sides of 29 Mile Road, all the way from Van Dyke over to the freeway.
So if we're not committing anything, why do we need to approve the $169,000?
You're not approving the 169,000. So if you look at the motion, it's just for our design. We'll bid this project out along with the water main, and we'll come back to you in the spring, and that'll be when you'll award a contract to someone to build it.
Yeah, I remember this one was kind of a mess over there, wasn't it, with all the utilities and
Yeah, what actually drove this is the fact that the section in front of Proline Asphalt, that's right there, we had to push the water main underneath the existing pathway due to the existing storm sewer and the roadside ditch that's there. So there's nowhere else to put the water main at this point. It just made sense to continue to extend it all the way to the west. A little bit of a 2-for-1 here. Kind of, again, creates another network, another connection in your pathway network.
I'd make a motion then to approve the additional services request by Giffords Webster to provide surveying, design, and bidding services for the proposed 29-mile water main extension for a total fee not to exceed $17,225.
Support.
Okay, that's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Reinhold. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Thank you.
Oh, it was easy.
Thank you.
Next is 9.3, the 26 Mile Road and Hayes Road intersection cost share agreement. I have been working on this for about 5 years or maybe more now. The intersection at 26 and Hayes has been a cause of a lot of accidents and intersection issues. Back in 2021, we had reached an agreement between the 4 townships and the county to basically split this. The county would pay 50% and the 4 townships each at 12.5% each, which was a cost of about $100,000 to each of the 4 townships. Ray Township has repeatedly voted this down due to their funding. The 3 of our other townships and the county have been still working on this, trying to get grant coverage. We did get, I believe it's about $700,000 in grant money to cover a big chunk of this. But again, tonight Macomb Township's voting on it. Last night Shelby Township voted on it. Tonight is our turn to vote on it. The good news is the price went down for the township. It's $88,000, and roughly it's in the packet.
$88,332.
Yeah, for each of the 3 townships, the county will pay the other half, and the grant that's covering it. Ray Township will not participate in this cost-sharing agreement. So we have approved this in our budget for the last 5 years at $100,000. In an attempt to keep that intersection safe, I'd like to make a motion to approve this for us to participate in making this intersection safer, even though Ray Township will not take part in helping with the cost of this. So that is my motion.
Support.
Supported by Stevenson. Questions on the motion?
Just for your clarification.
You can explain it better if you want.
No, it's okay. We did get a $750,000 grant from the federal government.
Yeah.
So what is the number that we're approving for the motion? Is it-
$83,332 per township.
Supervisor
Okay, got
Privity?
it.
Oh, so Macomb, Shelby, and Washington Township. I'm sorry.
How is it that Ray Township can elect not to pay? Like, when I'm in an HOA, I can't elect not to pay what the majority of the HOA decides to do.
Been trying for 5 years. I don't
Okay,
know.
and have we gone to the county and asked the county how Ray can elect not to pay?
They're not going to participate. We've tried. It's been,
But
I'm
I
just
mean-
going on my 6th year trying.
Supervisor Praviti, did Shelby and the other township approve?
Macomb's voting on it tonight. Supposedly, they're going to approve it. Shelby, I believe, voted on it last night and approved it.
Shelby did?
Yeah.
Attorney
I
Steve,
mean, there was a death at that intersection. There's been numerous accidents. We've gotten petitions from all 4 intersections wanting it.
oh,
What? Oh, he represents.
She was going to ask me a question.
I
I
know.
represent Ray Township and have an obvious conflict, so I'm not going to be able to address it, sorry.
Do you feel conflicted, or?
No, I am conflicted.
yes, and I would think that before we decide, we need to take it to the nth degree of how come they are not paying. Like I said, I can't decide not to pay when the rest of the HOA is paying.
I've been asking that for 6 years.
Okay, but because I'm new to this, tell me or show me how or where or the paper trail of who's been asked.
Both the new board and last board of Ray Township. So.
Okay, but you go and you knock at their door and say, hey, do you want to pay? And they say no? I mean, what have we
Michelle,
done?
maybe we can get an IOU or something.
Well, no,
I mean-
it's literally that simple. It's,
The county offered them a monthly program to pay it over monthly installments, and they voted it down as well.
yeah, there's no.
Basically, the
requirement.
Their
county,
township board, correct?
yeah. So basically, the county, to offset it, got this grant to help offset it. Me and my 2 counterpart supervisors, we were just looking at the safety of the intersection. We're like, we can't just keep beating a dead horse here. We either move
And
forward or let it go.
Totally agree with you, but I do
But if the
think,
board votes it down, the board votes it down, and we'll stop it. It's not.
no, I would vote yes. I would
mean,
totally agree with you.
I feel we're stuck. We have to,
Again,
I'd rather move forward with it. It's,
I agree,
the
but
good
being-
news is the price went down, obviously. The bad news is we're the only 3 participating.
I agree. I would just like to see some paper trail of how or what we've done, like just going and saying,
I
hey,
can
would
send you all the
pay?
emails and phone logs. I
I mean-
don't know what else I can.
No, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying.
No, it's fine.
To what degree have we sat down with them, with the county, in the same room and said, hey, has the county
I don't
said
know.
you have to pay?
Mike and Rich have been there. We've gone, every 3 months for the last 6 years. They've asked. I can send you all my meeting notices with them.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't, I'm going to regret.
I mean, I'm trying not to
This one-
bash my neighboring
Yeah,
county.
it's not like an SAD in the sense of like there's an imposing thing. This is, the communities did go to the county to say, hey, you know, we need to make some improvements there. The county agreed. I think the time that has been spent while not everybody decided to show up to volunteer was used wisely by the county to secure $750,000 to pay for the bulk of the project. I also don't want to, the math seems a little fuzzy in their agreement as it's written right here that I just noticed. So they have 3 communities at 16, oh, it's times 3, I'm sorry. Nope, the math is good.
Times 3.
I apologize. And multiplied by 2. But I think that's been the reason. I'll agree with Sam that every time we've gone to the county
Yeah.
over the past 5 years, this project is in that list.
Is there a way we could postpone this until we get a better clarification of what our neighbors are willing to do?
I think we know.
If we postpone it, this may not make, I mean, I'm
I'm
already,
not saying forever, I'm saying another meeting so we could see more background. I mean, I'm asked to vote on something that I've never saw the background on it.
I know, but when I go to all these road work, I can't bring all 7 of you all the time.
No, I-
I don't understand. I gotta have some
This-
trust in here.
I
I feel like, I know it sounds, I have to tell you guys, the background, but I mean, this is the best we're gonna get right now when they're not contributing. It's not.
And it seems
Yeah,
like
I'll-
my mother lives really close to that intersection, and it's a death trap trying to pull out from there.
Let me jump in here.
It's so
and say what-
dangerous.
What
It
the
is.
supervisor doesn't want to say. They don't have the money for it. The bottom line is Ray Township's got about 3,000 people living there, and we've got 30,000 close to. They just don't have the funds to come out of pocket for an optional street light. And that's what this is. It's not something that we're being asked to pay for an improvement that's coming down from on high. We wanted this. Macomb Township, Shelby wanted this for
Yeah.
safety. So
I'm saying all 3 of us are getting phone calls in the middle of the night of an accident there.
they don't
Tired of
have,
the accidents.
there's no mandate for them to participate. Now, I realize it'd be more fair if they did.
Well, I would like to see a payment plan or something, a reduced amount.
I've
I mean, to say
spoken
we're going to
with-
pay nothing
I've
seems.
spoken with some people over there, just casually, and the feedback I get is there's no money. There's no money coming towards this program. If I look at the numbers, the way that they break down now, without the grant, our piece would have been $275,000.
Well, yeah, the price went way up.
Yeah, with the grant, we're going to be paying 88, and if Ray participated, it would be about 20,000 less per participating township. So it's about it's costing each of the 3 townships about 20 grand more than it would if Ray would chip in.
Tonight, I've spent 40,000 on just 20 on NSF, 20 on this. It sounds like 40,000 just going away today.
Well, there's definitely public benefit to this. And,
Yeah, I'm tired of having people in car accidents and the death at the corner. I'm done hearing these tragedies.
I agree with you.
It's been 6 years of
I would
phone
just-
calls of accidents. I'm done listening to it.
Vote you can.
This is our number 1 intersection of complaints after 32, but we fixed 32, so.
Mike, do you know when this project would start and complete?
Sam could probably answer that question. I think it's this year, though.
They're going to start immediately upon our approvals, but
Yeah, I
I
don't,
said realistically at the end of the year.
Okay, so by the end of this year.
We already got the motion in the second, me and Charles.
Yeah.
I can't hide the fact that Ray's not participating. I have to let you guys know, but I think the 3 communities in the county, we just want to move on and get this done.
This was actually discussed a number of years ago, and we did set aside $100,000, and we knew at that time Ray didn't have the funds to participate in it. That's the reason why it was delayed. Now that we got the grant from the federal government, we're able to subsidize a little bit of the cost that we were originally supposed to put out and actually save the township a little bit of money. In the meantime, also providing the safety for those residents and those people that cross that intersection all the time. That is a disastrous intersection, and it needs to be fixed.
And just to explain, it's not just a traffic light there, it's total reconstruction of the intersection with turn lanes. The 26 mile kind of goes off in like a 30-degree angle. This is going to kind of correct all of that intersection, so
That's great.
hence the cost.
I think you also have to consider the fact there's only 3,000 people that live there, and if it weren't for us, they probably wouldn't need this traffic light or this improvements.
Well, definitely, the surrounding townships.
If it weren't for us and Shelby,
It's not us, Shelby and Macomb, man, a
Right.
lot too.
if it weren't for the 3 that have all the population, they probably wouldn't need it. It'd just be a country road.
Yeah, now, if you compare us to Shelby, we could make the same argument, but I get the point you're making.
No, exactly.
And I also.
I mean, to your point, I think they can afford a monthly payment over 5 years.
Thank you.
But I've beaten that to a pulp.
I know we've tried.
It's not, I find it hard to believe they can't afford a monthly payment over so many years. Got to be neighborly, so I can't talk too much.
Well, I'm glad that we're being neighborly, and I hope that the rest of the agenda items tonight work out that way then, because I guess being neighborly is the right thing to do, so I make a motion.
That's
I
right.
already got it.
Okay, I will second it, third and fourth it to be neighborly.
Okay, so it's a motion by Praviti, supported by Reinhold. Any other questions or roll call?
That's a good point.
With Stevenson.
Oh, Stevens, I thought it was Reinhold.
Praviti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry, it's such a, this intersection's always been high on the list to improve. Anyway, appreciate that. 9.4, Resolution 2026-01, the real property tax poverty exemption. This is an annual resolution by our assessing department. They analyze our poverty tax exemption amount. So every year they tweak it by, I don't know the exact percentage, but we do it every year. I'm not sure, but.
Okay.
I think you got the list there. It's, so basically throughout the county, each municipality has a certain threshold for poverty exemption. Washington Township, of course, our property values are a lot higher, so each municipality votes on basically the amount of poverty exemption for their community. So this is an annual vote we do for the assessing department, basically.
Yeah, this is from the Michigan Department of Treasury, PA 253 of 2020 and PA 191 of 2023. A full exemption of 100%, a partial exemption at 75%, a partial exemption at 50%, and a partial exemption at 25%. And the homeowner must be required to provide information, proof. It's all sent to the state and the federal government, as well as federal tax returns and state returns, a homestead property credit, tax credit claim forms, so they have a lot of information that needs to be provided in order for them to qualify.
And all this flows back to the state set poverty levels?
Yes, sir.
Who makes this determination?
It's a formula used by the state to determine based upon census as well as the
Right,
assessment.
but who makes this determination? Who reviews the information?
The Board of Review.
Our assessor with the board.
Assessor does?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-01, real property tax poverty exemption.
Second?
Okay, motion by Stevenson, supported by Brown. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Brown, yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Since I have a big audience, March 9, 10, and 11 will be our board of review. If anybody would like to come in and meet with the board of review to discuss your assessed value of your home, please call our assessing office during the week, and you can make an appointment either March 9, 10, or 11. Okay, let's see. 9.5, revised early voting joint municipal agreement.
Okay, yes, I'll present it. We have for early voting through the clerk's office, we have a joint municipal agreement, and it is between Washington, Bruce, and Ray. Ray, yes, they participate, yes, they do. They're entered into a joint municipal agreement to conduct the required 9 days of early voting collectively. This is done so that each township could save on costs and ensure that there were enough supplies and resources to conduct early voting properly and efficiently. The attached agreement has a few minor revisions, which include precincts for the Washington Township, the number of registered voters, updating cost sharing, updating agreement duration, and updating the name of the clerk. But if you can see on the second page, it shows the number of registered voters in each precinct. Washington Township has 24,366, Bruce has 8,227, and Ray has 3,338. However, Ray Township and Bruce, we're splitting it 3 ways, so they are chipping in, so, which is great.
Equally?
Yes.
Just from the payout
Yes,
front.
they are. Yes, they are. Yes, sir.
Because they
Well,
just
you know
don't
why?
like
Because
traffic
we hold the early voting here at Washington Township in our facilities and all that. So they're happy, even though we have a lot more voters, that they're Bruce and Ray we're dividing it 3 ways. So. Mhm.
Killed them, 88,000.
Yeah, that's what we're charging them. So,
Let's see. Motion to approve the revised early voting joint municipal agreement?
Support.
so that's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Stevenson. Reinhold.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, motion passed. Next is 9.6, is in Resolution 2026-02. It's for the temporary precinct location change for the election.
Okay, this is 9.6. We are moving, currently, the Grabner Library is our voting facility for Precinct 2. However, they're undergoing renovations in 2026 due to construction. The Woodside Bible Church has graciously agreed to hold the additional precinct at their location on a temporary basis through the 2026 election cycle. Woodside Bible has a lot of space and room available to house the additional precinct and facility, and is also ADA compliant. So this will continue only during the renovation of the Grabner Library. When the renovation is done, Precinct 2 will go back to the Grabner Library.
Motion to approve Resolution 2026-02, temporary precinct change location for Precinct 2 from the Grabner Library to Woodside Bible Church.
I support.
Okay, that's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Mylum. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Thank you.
Next is 9.7. It's Meriden House Discussion of waiver of fees. We have Kathy here from Samaritan.
Supervisor Privity, may I speak before the Samaritan House speaks on the subject? I want to let you know that Kathy, who's doing an amazing job running the Samaritan House, did not ask for this. She was telling me about some fees she was going to pay for the Samaritan House, and when I heard the story, I was moved to ask to be placed on the agenda. The Samaritan House has already paid a lot towards their new project, and they feed just shy of 300 people a month in our township. When their building is complete, they won't be making revenue off of it. You know, we have other 501Cs in the township that make revenue off of their building. This situation does not. So please have an open heart when you hear what Samaritan House needs to,
Yeah, we've done this for other nonprofits.
yes.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Kathy Wojcik, Executive Director at Samaritan House, and I'm here tonight asking if you would consider waiving an inspection fee of $3,983.05 and an as-built review fee of $900. That totals about $5,000, which is about a third of our monthly budget to purchase food at Samaritan House. On top of these other fees, you know, we've had to pay like a site improvement bond, a surety bond. There's just lots and lots of fees. We're so very happy that we're able to move forward with this building. With the help of Mike Magnoli and Michelangelo Builders, he is helping us spearhead this thing and getting off the ground. It's been 3 years, and we finally see light at the end of the tunnel. Like Michelle said, almost 300 families a month we're helping. We need the extra space. The food is piled to the ceiling. I invite everyone to come and take a look at what we have going on there right now. It's pretty crazy. So next week we have our pre-construction meeting, and we're just really looking forward to getting this project moving. It's been about 3 years in the works. So I ask that you consider this, and thank you for your time this evening.
All right, thank you.
And I can vouch for Mr. Magnoli that he is excited about this project, so. Do you have any questions for me? No, I don't, no. But thank you, he is ready to get going on it.
So we've done this in the past for other 501Cs. I don't see an issue. It's, as both Kathy and Michelle both said, they've served our community and the surrounding communities. You want to make the motion?
Yeah, I like to.
Or you? I didn't know.
I'll make the motion, of course, to waive the fees for the Samaritan House construction program.
Support?
For a total of $4,883.
Yes.
Okay.
Support?
Thank you, Audrey.
So motion by Mylum, supported by Brown. If no questions, roll call.
Mylum?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Praviti?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Stevenson? Nicely?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Kathy. Thank you for everything you do for us.
We didn't keep you too long. Okay, next is 9.8, the review of the 26-27 Parks and Rec and Star Transportation budget. Is Clara here?
He's coming.
Is Clara coming?
Oh,
In the back.
There she comes.
it's like out of the darkness.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Oh, the door is locked.
The front door's
The
locked.
front door is locked?
Locked? Oh, no.
Maybe Mary can fix it, sorry. It's okay, you can come up.
Or are people trying to get in? Is that what you're saying?
Someone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Clara.
Okay, Claire Russell from Parks and Recreation. All right, the Star Transportation budget, we will start there. Sorry. So if you look at the front page of the budget, on the right-hand side shows the fund balance. It gives like a snapshot of what is happening. We have assigned funds for the future, including a 2-year emergency operating budget. We depend on a lot of money from SMART. So if something ever happened to them, we want to make sure that we have the funds to continue. And then we have money set aside for capital development and improvement for STAR. We have appropriated funds that we need for operation from April through December. And then this year we have a proposed amount that we will use or are asking to use of fund balance to go towards capital purchases. which we'll get to when I flip through the pages of the budget. But our banking and investments, I think the biggest thing this year is that we now have an investment committee. So we are taking our funds and we laddered them so that we can gain some money on the funds that are sitting there. So I guess first, and to everybody, I'd like to say thank you for our millage, because it has been going since 1991. That's over 45 years, I believe, at 0.25. There is a formula on the front, so if anybody's interested in figuring out how much they have to pay for a star, but it is 0.25. I'm not sure if I said that. So this year, the budget is balanced at $982,295. If you flip to page 2, that's a breakdown of where the revenue comes from. So STAR, which I should talk a little bit about, is free transportation for seniors and for the permanently disabled within the guides of the 72 square miles of Romeo, Washington, and Bruce. All they need to do is sign up, and then anytime that they need a ride, they call. We do ask for advance reservations. And medical appointments, they can book out as much as a month before, so they don't have to worry about when they're at the doctor's office. They can make an appointment and know that they'll have a ride, or try to call us and figure that out. So this is, it provides independence for these individuals, which is so vital, as we all know, and value our independence. So we want to continue this. And again, thank you to the residents for helping us continue this service. SMART is our partner in crime here. They help us with service grants as well as the community and municipal credits. They also help us with our vehicles, the buses that you see that are out, the small buses that are stars are through them, as well as some of the vans that are out there. We have 14 vehicles currently that are out giving rides. We've had, I think we did 24,500 rides in 2025, which is over 250,000 miles, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But again, it just provides this independence to the people who need it most. And when we flip through, on page 3 starts the expenses. STAR has one full-time operation coordinator, but myself and the accountant, our salary is split between STAR and Parks and Recreation to save funds. 15% of my salary and 25% of the accountant. Benefit and staff overhead. The majority of our staff that work for STAR are permanent part-time. They're the drivers, the dispatchers. They make the whole operation work. So they're on a different page, though, of the budget. Moving on to page 4. We have our department support, which is just basic needs that you have when you're running an office. Our capital developments for this year, these are the funds that we had asked for. We need to add 2 additional vehicles because of the number of riders and rides that we are giving. We are looking at purchasing 2 SUVs, and then we would like to, there's a grant that I'm working on to add cameras to the inside and outside of the vehicles for the safety of the residents and the safety of the drivers.
Is it one of those drones, I think they call it a drone view camera, where you can see 360 degrees around?
Around the, yes.
The vehicle?
Yeah, those are, so our risk management team has been working on helping me with the camera part. So we are looking at all of those.
That's amazing technology.
Operations, when you switch to page 5, operations and building, we share the Romeo Community Center as our main office, and STAR contributes towards just the overhead of that. Operations services is where you'll see the full-time operation coordinator, and then our part-time drivers, which is our biggest expense because, again, they're the ones that do all of the work to make the service organization work. Then when you go down to vehicles, we have maintenance because we have some older vehicles, which is the reason that we are looking at some additional cars. And then fuel. And really, it's a well-run machine. It's a great service organization, and it provides a lot of help to a lot of the residents of Washington and Romeo and Bruce. I don't know if you have any questions.
No, it is really good. I've talked to a number of the elderly who use it, and they cannot get from point A to point B without that, so
Yeah,
thank you
it's
very much.
great.
for-
I mean, and Parks and Rec and Star work so well together because we have the 2 senior activity centers, so a lot of them will take that transportation to come and do whatever programs we have, or more importantly, they go to medical appointments, or we have trips every month that we go outside of the Romeo, Washington, Bruce area. So if they want to go to Walmart, which is in Shelby, we will take a trip there for that, or we go to Sam's Club and Costco. So it really is it's a good program, and it's just so nice. You know, I think both of these programs bring people here, they want to live here, and then they want to stay here, you know, because I know that as I get older, I know I'm going to look to make sure that I always have a star.
Yes.
But that's it for STAR's budget.
Yep, good job.
Moving on to Parks and Recreation. Well, this one's a little bit, I do have a handout I'm going to give you just of a correction that happened prior to or after it went into the packet. So if I
What are we replacing?
Thank you.
Apparently I'm stealing them all.
So
Here, keep passing.
he does, I didn't know, thank you, Eric, for getting the correct ones. I sent them.
Oh, another one.
But really, there was a formula, mathematical error, I'm sure user error here, who did it. But within the administrative budget, one of the items came out to $10,000 when it should have been $100,000. So just a missing zero. But the correction was made, and really that came out of, when you look at the budget and the revenue, and then you go to the expense, it comes out of the capital development fund balance that we were asking for to use towards the projects for this year. So it added on to that.
This is 70 here, and it's 62,
I don't know if you have a question, but
page 2.
with this line item, we'll go through when we get there, I can point it out a little bit more, but with Parks and Recreation, again, on the right-hand side is our fund balance information. We have funds set aside for future use and development, as well as restricted donation that was given to us until we use that. And then we have the operating funds that we need prior to tax collection, which comes in December, so we need to work from April through December. With our banking and investments, the same thing. We did a ladder, or have 3, 6, 9, and 12-month ladders to make sure that our money is working for us, or your money is working for us. And then the budget itself is balanced at $3,383,512. And if you flip to page 2, this is a breakdown of our millage revenue, as well as our voting history and our millage history. Again, thank you to the residents for keeping Parks and Recreation up and running. It's been going since 1986. We have a .75 mil that we receive every 4 years, and it's much appreciated. Moving on to page 3, these funds, to make it even more confusing tonight, used to be in the program budget. They were moved from program to additional revenue stream at the front of the budget, or where the millage money is taken from. So this, of course, caused a major shift in the programming budget, but we also looked at that to figure out how we can make this work, because there are a lot of operating expenses that are more administrative side, even if we didn't run programs. Our senior center staff who house these places, whether we had all of the programs that we have or we didn't, we would still need staff in the senior center. So we looked and moved some expenses to make it level out a little bit. So that's just my explanation of page 3. If you move to page 4, this is where the administrative salary benefits, and then the next page are the operating costs. This year we did ask for a 3% raise. We followed COLA, or the cost of living was at 2%, 2.8%. This is where the mistake happened under health insurance. Not only did health insurance go up nationwide this year, but this is where our formula, or my mistake, happened. Moving on to page 5, this is the total operations, what it takes to really maintain our offices and keep things up and running. We have added some new items this year. We're trying to move our administration up. We've kind of been at stalemate for a few years, and our HR was in need of a major overhaul. So we have a company, our payroll, we went to a payroll company so that the kids who are working at all of our different programs are checking in on their phone now, so that's pretty streamlined and it's worked very well so far. We also need to update our accounting program, or our accounting software. Those are the plans for the future. And just some other costs. Oh, this is where some of the expenses you'll see if you go 3/4 of the way down. For our senior staff, we pay our Parks and Recreation office staff out of there, and our help and accounts payable. Page 6 is where we come to the fun part. This is the improvements. We did a lot of improvements this year, and we've done a lot of maintenance at the parks. If you go past Gilcher, now you see lights, you see cameras. The pavilion is going up in this freezing cold weather, but it is going up, and we're very excited about that. We did the front entrance at Gilcher, prepping so that at some point we will have an asphalt drive. It won't be this year, but these are going to be done in phases. But that was an area that really needed some assistance. We have internet that will be at Gilcher, and we did the walking trail, the fencing. I mean, it really came a long way this year. So we're excited about that. We've got other parks, obviously Hawks Acres we're excited about upcoming, as well as the Thorington. So we have budgeted money. These monies aren't set in stone. They're for Washington. We know that different projects might cost whatever, or with grant matches if more needs to be added to that. But we wanted to make sure that we earmarked some areas for these parks in general. Bruce Township, same type of thing. We're looking at smaller items at the Bruce Township parks, but they are needed. The Sled Hill will be working on. We are doing some upgrades to the community center. And Crystal Diamonds, we do have North Macomb Community Youth Soccer who would like to match some monies to get lights out there, which we have 3 ball fields and soccer areas. To do that, that adds, when you add lights, it's like adding 3 additional fields, so it's a good investment. But these are the improvements. We're looking at $995,000 in improvements this year. So again, it's been great, and I think things are coming a long way. It's good that money is being spent where it needs to be spent. So, moving on to page 8, this is maintenance. Anytime you build something, you have to pay for the maintenance of it. So we have the Washington Activity Center and the Romeo Community Center. This is pretty much what it costs to run these sites. And then if you flip over to page 9, this is our maintenance for our parks. This is the grass cutting and items that happen at each of those parks. Oops. No. And then moving on to page 10, this is the program part of the budget. This is an overall of all the programs that we do. When you flip back through the next 8 pages, it's a breakdown of each of those departments. We have adult and adult 60-plus programs, aquatics, dance. Oh, you're back up on maintenance. So here is the maintenance and the parks that we have, and just a breakdown for each. And then the next page is the programs. This Parks and Recreation Department is very heavily weighted on our programs. They are looked forward to, and we are continuously adding them at all times of the year. So I don't know if everybody is aware of the One Source magazine, but want to make sure that we talk about that. Make sure you look for it in the mail. Our pages are in the very back of it. It comes 4 times a year now, so it will be mailed directly to your homes. It's shared with the townships, both Bruce and Washington, the Village of Romeo, DDA, and the library. So it is your really one-stop shop to see what's happening in the community and keep up with our programs. So make sure you get one. I don't know if you have any questions.
No, but I participate in a lot of the
Yes,
Parks
you
and
do.
Recs program, and thank you to you and your staff for everything that you do every day.
Yeah.
It's a joy to see the seniors work on their wood carving back here. If you're not seeing that, that's tremendous. And I think they're having an event at the Packard plant in March. So if you get a chance, you want to go see their events, you can see how the work that they've done. And one of them actually gave me a very nice gift, so I appreciate them for doing that. We got the skating outside, 10,000 gallons of water were in there.
Yes, we
So
have.
hopefully it's now frozen and everybody can go a chance to do skating.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we'll have Easter coming up with Easter Bunny and all the other rest of the events. So it's a great opportunity to be involved with the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, we do have, and I should have mentioned, and thank you, Mike,
That's
for
okay.
mentioning, but we do, our senior centers are packed full of activities. We are starting what is called the Social Connection Committee to try to reach out to anybody of any age that's isolated, to try to, our phones, everything has kind of made the world a different place. We want to make sure that we're reaching everybody if they're not able to come or maybe just don't feel comfortable coming. So that is something that we're working on this year as well. Our special events, I think Mike comes to a lot of them and takes our great pictures that he takes at them. We're having a daddy-daughter dance this year, so mark your calendars. It's in April, and Willy Wonka, it will be the theme. So
Let me know the date.
that should be, I think it's April 17th, but we will for sure let you know. Check out our ice rink. The lights will be on until 8 p.m. So that you can come skating. At nighttime, just bring your own skates. We also have a synthetic ice rink that we set up at the Bruce Township Pavilion this year, so if you want to try out that. It's always frozen. No promises on this one, but right now, it's perfect.
Claire, who clears the snow off there when they want to try to use it? Is it something that the participants try to do? Is that something that we try to maintain for them?
So it is our staff. We have a staff that go out there. However, there is a shovel in between time if it doesn't happen. Normally, they're told when it snows, they go out there on their own schedule, but we do leave a community shovel, so it's out there just in case.
Thank you.
Oh, and don't forget about our sled hill. That is, I left today and it was definitely being used. That's at the community center. So, yeah, lots going on. Make sure you check out OneSource. It will have all of the new spring activities and will be, well, geez, I think in the next month it will be mailed out.
You know, Claire, if I can ask, I wanted to, not specifically, on the budget, but how are you guys doing on staffing right now? I know you've got a lot of programs going on and things like that. Are you guys finding the staff you need, or are you guys looking?
So with staffing, or one thing that has come as we make all these improvements and we're starting to build, we are looking at the infrastructure of our administrative staff and permanent part-time staff and just part-time staff that work for us. Because if we build hardscape bathrooms, we are going to have someone who works in the evening in maintenance doing that. So right now, if we do have jobs available, we normally post it on Facebook, but things are okay.
Good. I just want to say again that I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
I look at the programs that you guys offer, and it always blows me away when I go through the catalog to see how many there are. And when I look at this and Star Transportation, we get it all for $1 million.
Yeah,
It's a great deal.
they really are two great service
I'm
organizations.
surprised we can manage that, but kudos to you and the rest of the
Thank you.
staff and the commission for doing it.
Thank you.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the Parks and Rec and Star Transportation budgets for 2026.
Two separate motions, I would think.
Yeah, it's got to be separate.
Those are two separate.
Oh, pardon me. Okay. I make a motion to support, to approve the Parks and Recreation budget for 2026 through 2027.
Support.
Okay. Motion by Brown, supported by Chaplin. No questions. Roll call.
Brown, yes. Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
And Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Do you want to do the other one?
Star one?
Do you want to do one? I don't want to hog all the motions. Okay. I make a motion to approve the Parks and Rec Star Transportation budget for 2026 through 2027.
Support.
Motion by Brown, supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Brown, yes. Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clara.
Thank you.
Okay, next is item 10, comments from audience on agenda or non-agenda items. Please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. WBRW will throw the clock up, I think. So feel free to come up if anybody wants to speak.
Oh. Will you tell me about that?
Hi, everyone. Is this good? Yeah? My name is Camille Allensworth. I live at 58172 Dulwich here in Washington Township. First, I want to acknowledge the email correspondence that we had with you all. Thank you very much for responding. And I do understand that the agenda and any policy decisions are under the board's authority and are through a public process. And that is why I'm here. I am here to request some basic risk management efforts that we can do. Because the developer has requested a delay, a postponement for the decision on the rezoning application. This is an opportunity for us, this window. It is an active choice. If we wait and see, that is a choice, and there is risk associated with that choice. So you can choose to do nothing or choose to do some basic risk management preventative measures. So one thing I would love for us to consider in order to protect the township, regardless of the decision that is made on that, these are things that could protect the township in any future decisions that come before you, you or the Planning Commission. So first, I would love for the township to clarify the township's NDA policy and governance practices on the public record. So, John, I told you about what happened in Memphis. Maybe you all know what happened in Memphis, Tennessee. And I really just want to avoid that. Their hands are tied because they all signed NDAs. And I want to make sure that we are not permitted to sign NDAs. We, you all, township officials are not permitted to sign NDAs. And if that's the case, I want you to clearly affirm that and reassure us publicly so that we all know that we are in good hands. This will just avoid confusion and erosion of transparency, and it'll give you an opportunity to know how to handle these things if they do arise in future. And we would like to know for consent agreements and for any litigation that comes up. Also, I think that we should enact a temporary moratorium on utility-intensive industries. This is not limited to a specific industry. This is just in general so that we can begin ordinance work on those things. I've heard you say that these are supposed to be light industrial, but let's make the ordinance reflect that as such and enact some things that say what we will and will not allow in those kind of areas. And then that we start the public comment process for the master plan that was reopened. That was opened September 3rd because the supervisor requested it. And I think that it's very clear that township residents have, not only do they have a right, but they are interested and invested in the future of the township, specifically related to the request that was made to expand IRT. So I think that that is a nice opportunity for us to publicly speak on those things. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor and members of the board. Sean Weber, 75508 Romeo Plank Road in Armada. I'm speaking tonight because Washington Township deserves transparency, fairness, and accountable land use making as proposals for large-scale energy-intensive facilities move forward. My comments tonight are grounded in research from the University of Michigan Ford School report, What Happens When Data Centers Come to Town. The report evaluates what communities experience after approvals are granted, and its findings are consistent and cautionary. First, transparency must be established at the outset. The report finds that companies and legislators often withhold information about the electricity and water use of data centers, preventing customers from realizing that increased utility costs are often associated with the arrival of energy-intensive facilities. Clear public standards around confidentiality and disclosure protect residents and preserve trust in local government. Second, Washington Township currently lacks clear standards for energy-intensive uses such as data centers. The report states plainly that there are currently no state or federal laws that currently directly restrict or deter the construction of data centers, leaving local governments to manage risk on their own. Communities that approve projects before establishing rules face higher utility rates, infrastructure strain, and long-term fiscal exposure. A short pause or immediate ordinance work is a reasonable safeguard. Third, these projects are legally complex and frequently lead to lawsuits. The report documents prolonged tax disputes, utility rate cases, and regulatory conflicts that shift costs onto residents and schools. Retaining specialized land use counsel early is a prudent step to protect the township and its taxpayers. Finally, residents must be meaningfully involved in shaping long-term land use. The report notes that data centers lock in infrastructure and land use patterns for decades, often outlasting the facilities themselves. Decisions with impacts this large should not move forward before the planning process is completed. This delay is an opportunity to prepare, plan reasonably, and protect the township's future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, members of the board. Thank you for having us tonight. My name is Vanessa Judich. My residence is on 31 Mile Road between Powell and Van Dyke. I'm here tonight to speak to you guys similar to what I talked about a couple weeks ago at the Planning Commission meeting. I'm asking you not to rezone the 312 acres based on promises and broad statements that were submitted in an application back in December. And I know things have changed a little bit and timing has changed, but I'm still here to reiterate my points because I feel it's so important. The applicant's proposal materials describe that the land is ideal and free of environmental constraints. Even say that the project is isolated with an abundance of, the absence, I should say, and I say abundance because there's actually an abundance of residents in the area, even though their application says there is not. It's almost funny how Prologis was avoiding using certain wording in their proposal and not saying anything about residential areas when it's actually, there's lots of houses in the area. They leave out when describing the future land use map, this area is not an empty industrial island. There are well over 1,000 homes nearby. My neighbors and I know that, just with the residents there. And Washington Township is actively growing. We have township documents showing the area to the east of this property is zoned residential. And the Washington Creek subdivision would be directly south of this property. That means the real context around this site includes families, neighbors, and more housing already planned. And there are approximately 4,500 students who attend schools within a half mile to 3 miles of the site. I'm not saying that this automatically decides the zoning for this site, however, it matters. The proximity to schools makes the area desirable for families, and it should be a part of the compatibility picture and not just brushed off or ignored. When an application downplays residential context, it pushes decision makers toward the wrong conclusion, that there will be no conflict or no consequence. But once land is rezoned to this IRT, it allows a lot more than just one project. And that's what the residents are really nervous about. We don't want one thing to go in and then for it to keep going, okay? It impacts the residents for decades, okay? And both in their health and well-being, okay? If the applicant believes that it's truly compatible, then the burden should be on them to prove this and show clear information, not just statements. The public should see accurate maps showing their homes and neighbors where they are and where new subdivisions have been approved and how the site relates to schools and surrounding developments. People who live by hyperscale data centers are worried about the EMF radiation waves from these data centers and how they can reach 2 to 3 mile radiuses from these facilities and can have negative health effects. And that's what we're most concerned about, our health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corinne Graper. I live at 66874 Dorothy Trail, Washington Township. So I want to talk today about what we lose if we hand over 312 acres to one single industrial project. This is not just economic development, it's a massive long-term bet. Rezoning all this land to IRT puts a large part of Washington Township's future in one basket. What happens if the project stalls mid-build? What happens if private equity pulls out, which we've seen private equity pulling out of some of these deals? What happens if stock market prices drop? We already have a reminder of what happens when large industrial buildings are abandoned. Look at the Ford plant right across the street at 32 Mile. That's 20 acres of land. Imagine what 312 acres of a large, massive building that's abandoned would look like. People talk about this land being rezoned to IRT and the tax revenue it can bring in, but how much and at what cost? And it's not worth it to us. In the long run, it will ruin our character and our reputation as a destination for families and a place people want to live. The master plan already points to a better approach that will also bring in considerable tax revenue, and that's a balanced approach because it includes residential, where families want to live, commercial to then support the growing families that move here, and a limited portion of IRT. This plan spreads out risk, creates more jobs across more sectors, and preserves flexibility as the township grows. Please don't rezone 312 acres to IRT without clear answers and a plan that still works if this big bet doesn't. So we ask you to use this pause responsibly, put in place a moratorium, and if you're not going to do that, at least light a fire underneath people's behinds to get these ordinances developed. It's very rational and reasonable that we would fill in ordinance gaps. A lot of towns are doing that now because we're all realizing there are gaps, right? We're not the only town, so it's very reasonable to push that forward. We ask you to find and secure co-counsel with experience working with data centers and energy-intensive industries to work alongside existing counsel. We want existing counsel to stay, but the developer probably has about 600 lawyers. I think we should have a greater bench depth there. Please use our tax dollars to do that. Happy to have you spend them on the front end so we don't end up in long-term litigation on the back end. And we ask you to get the master plan process moving now since you reopened it. I ask you all to please give us answers to these things tonight and if you will move forward or not, or if you need more time to think about them. If you're not going to move forward, please let us know the rationale behind why you wouldn't move forward with any of these decisions. You all have one shot to get this right? This is a big, big, big thing for us. So please be proactive, be prepared, and protect our town now, and don't wait until April.
Thank you.
Supervisor Previti, members of the board. I'm Danielle Barrett. I live at 14330 28 Mile Road in wonderful Washington. So I'd like to talk about the environmental aspect. We know that much of that land operated as a golf course for over 50 years. We also know that golf courses use things like fertilizer and turf chemicals. And up until about 1994, so for several decades of that time, those available products often included mercury-containing fungicides. So environmental literature tells us that those kinds of compounds can remain in soils up to 2 feet deep for several decades or until physically removed. These facts don't prove contamination on this site, but they create a reasonable uncertainty that needs to be resolved before rezoning. Industrial development typically involves deeper excavation, grading, trenching that can disturb those underlying soils and release those compounds into our air and water. The site also includes ponds, drainage features, and potential wetlands. Changes in grading or paved areas can alter how the water moves across and off the site. Because the MZEA requires zoning decisions to promote public health, safety, and welfare, the potential impacts should be understood before we increase the land use intensity. Within 3 miles of the property are 6 Romeo schools. 2 of them are less than 1 mile away. Those are Amanda Moore and Croswell, where some of our most vulnerable children attend year-round programs. Children are a sensitive population that could be more affected by air quality impacts and stormwater changes if the soil disturbance is not properly evaluated. Before rezoning, I would respectfully request disclosure of any prior environmental studies on that land by any owner, buyer, or lender, a targeted phase 2 testing if concerns are identified, specifically in the former greens, tees, or maintenance areas, a professional wetland delineation and mapped stormwater discharge points, and a clear stormwater concept showing how downstream properties would be protected. Because these questions remain open, I agree with the other residents who have mentioned a temporary moratorium to give the township time to obtain these studies and to avoid late discovery of critical facts. I also support the beginning ordinance updates, retaining co-counsel, and opening the master plan public process. 25 seconds.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name's Elizabeth Bach. I'm at 60530 Campground Road in Washington. I'm coming forward to speak in opposition of the proposed data center. I was a little nervous to come and speak out, but I feel like this is a really important issue that needs to be addressed. I'm a teacher that recently moved into the area, and I hope to stay for a long time because of how beautiful the area is. But an AI data center would destroy the dream I've been saving up for and would likely destroy the dream others have been searching for in this community as well. I'm not anti-tech. I actually built my own computer, so I know a little bit about how that works. But there's already warning signs that these AI data centers don't benefit the consumer and, by extension, the residents of this community. For example, in the computer community, repairs and builds are becoming impossible because of the price of RAM. These companies are buying up all the RAM, which doesn't leave much for the consumer. So from this example, we can expect that their attitude towards water use and management, as well as energy use and management, would be no different, that the consumer would just be left there. We know of the ecological impacts of data centers on the water supply, but even if we ignore the ecological impacts of AI data centers, how is it impacting our children? It's contributing to a decrease in critical thinking skills and civic competencies, as well as an increase in social isolation. And as a teacher, this is something that I'm currently and unfortunately fighting against in the classroom. So I would ask you, consider the opportunity cost before it costs this community.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vaughn. I live at 59458 Glacier Club Drive in Washington. We just recently moved here, and the idea of potentially moving because of a data center moving in is just heart-wrenching because I'm not even figured out in that space. So here goes, and I never do these political things. So if the board is insisting on improving this data center, or any other manufacturer that the board needs to, then the board needs to prove to the citizens of Washington Township that they represent, that they're listening to and do and demand what their constituents want. The companies moving into Washington Township need to prove that they are a sustainable company. In other words, they will be responsible for being stewards of the community and the environment, responsible consumption of energy and natural resources. They will also commit to environmental reporting and compliance by independent certified labs, test results available on demand by anyone, meeting the following requirements: air quality from the California Air Resource Board, also known as CARB, or better, water quality. Also, we would benchmark against California because they're the gold standard. Noise ordinance, these things are noisy all the time, 24/7. Noise standards have to be like 45 decibels or less. You shouldn't have to yell just to make yourself heard because the diesel engines are running 24/7. Noise has been proven to be detrimental to children and effects on learning, and it also affects everybody's sleep and psychological effects. Electrical usage. They should be part of a renewable energy required to run their facilities, adding to the energy, not taking from the energy. In general, limitations of using environmental resources, usages should be required to be completely sustainable. They should be in their own closed system. They should have their own water treatment systems. They should have their own air quality. They should be taking care of the noise. We shouldn't even have to talk about it. If they're going to move in, then we need to have the ordinance that says you have to meet these standards as a minimum. I mean, I don't know what the benefit of this is because I haven't seen any place when I've looked online that anybody is happy with a data center in their community. They've all regretted it. I don't want to have to move, quite frankly. I think the board should evaluate, and I agree with the moratorium, that you should take the time and research this and provide good boundaries for this idea or any other future company, because they're coming. So you better figure out a plan now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paul Reno. I'm a resident of Bruce Township. I live at 34 in Van Dyke. So I understand that you don't represent my interest. I get that. I'm not a paying taxpayer here. I do recommend that everybody probably in the next week watch Aaron Brockovich and have that in their mind when they vote on this kind of stuff, okay? The irony of the location of this piece of property is that whatever you do is going to affect Romeo and Bruce Township a lot more than it's going to affect Washington Township people. So, you know, by the time we figure out that my power is going to go out whenever they're having an issue or somehow they have contaminated my well that I draw water out of, then everything's too late. So if you think that the only thing that you have to consider is being sued by your residents, that's really not the truth. So, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Linda Whetstone. I live in Carriage Hills. So there's a couple things I want to bring to your attention. Obviously, the people here are not happy with this. I've been to the other meetings, and there's been so much information, good information presented to the Planning Commission and then to you guys. You can't ignore it. But a couple things I want to bring to your attention was last week at the Planning Commission, there was Lombardo, I think it was, came up and they spoke to the Planning Commission about a new residential community that's going in that's already been approved, $600,000, $700,000 condos and apartments. It took them 2.5 years to finally approve that. Sam, you brought up today the 26-mile road and Hayes Road intersection. It took you 5 years for an intersection, for a light. And we're talking about a data center in our community that will affect many communities. The gentleman before me mentioned the well. Many of us are on wells. What if our wells dry up? Or he made a good point, are polluted. Then what happens? What happens? I'm asking you. You have no answer? I mean, what else? So we have those situations. And there's so much information out there now in communities who have this. It's a hard no. It's not, what should we do? Wring our hands, it's a hard no. We have to protect ourselves so this doesn't happen, so they don't sue us, yada, yada, yada. One woman asked about beefing up our legal, 100%, 100%. This is a beautiful community. If this goes through, it'll be you guys who will ruin Washington Township. This will be your legacy. Sam, this will be your legacy. You've done so much good. Don't undo it. Don't undo it. We have a fabulous place to live. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Hey, good evening, the board. Thank you guys for listening to us today. I've made statements on other planning commission meetings, but I just want to get this on the record. Pretty much, my name is Chris Judich. I'm on 14,031 Mile Road. I live between Van Dyke and Powell, so I'm literally a half a mile away, from this proposed IRT development. The biggest thing is, when you read through Prologis' zoning, rezoning application, it says, and I quote, "This property is in a manner compatible and consistent with the planned and surrounding areas." I want to know what exactly the surrounding areas mean, because I'm a half a mile away, so I can literally stand on my driveway and I can see this whole development. So what I would like to ask is that we put an ordinance in place to have some type of minimum distance from industrial property line to residential property lines, because currently I could not find anything, in our ordinance that had that. So that's one big thing that I would like us to do to kind of protect us, whether it's a data center or high intensity, industrial usage now or in the future. So I'd really like to see that ordinance, put into place. I just have a couple notes written down, but I never go off of notes, right? Another big concern that I really have here, so if they rezone this 312 acres, directly to the south, you have an approved residential community that's 72 acres, right? Washington Creek, I believe it's called. If you build a data center right there, no builder in their right mind is going to build literally next door 300 plus homes to a data center, because no one's going to buy those homes. So what's going to happen? That land is going to be sold off to that data center and converted to IRT also, because you're going to literally be locked in and have nothing else you can do with it, right? So it's not only the 312 acres, you got 72 acres directly south of that. Then what else happens? There's 82 acres next door to that, which is literally, right in front of my house. So you got 72 acres, it'll probably get rezoned, and another 82 acres that, guess what? It's not going to be anything besides the IRT center as well. So now you literally created a whole square mile of an IRT infrastructure, and residential houses, your pricing is going to go down. I don't care what you say, property values will decrease. I would be forced to move. It'd be irresponsible for me as a father, as a family man, to keep my kids living across the street from that when there is no long-term studies on these. That's why my actually daughter came here. She's 7 years old. She came here tonight because she's been asking every day, what's this data center? Why are you guys always worried about a data center? It's because we've been building this house for so long. If this does go through, I'm going to be forced to sell it because that'd be irresponsible on my part to keep my kids that close to it. So I would really like to get some protective, measures in place, minimum distance from, residential to industrial uses, whatever's appropriate, a mile, 2 miles, because EMF radiation that can reach up to 3 miles from these, massive centers. If people want to get together after and talk a little bit more about this too, we're going to be passing out things in the community so you can see me after. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Hello, thank you for having us here. My name is Christopher Sokana. I reside at 57284 Sycamore Drive, Washington, Michigan. And I just wanted to give my opinion about the data center. My family's been out here in Washington since 2000. They've had businesses in the area, and they currently do have a business not that far from the proposed data center. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know a whole lot about it until a few months ago, and I started doing research on it, the pros and the cons. I don't have anything against data centers if they're in the right area. But for this particular area, I don't see how it could be beneficial to anyone in the area, to the environment, to their property value, just overall. Looking at all the good and the bad, it's definitely a no for me. And I speak for my family as well. I have children, kids that are always in that area. We have a plaza not that far from there, and it wouldn't be good for the community. It wouldn't be good for the people. Just overall, it's no. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Hi, my name is Sandra Han. I live in Romeo on Salem Drive North. Just a couple of points. Number one, when I read the application, it sounded like, it was in the middle of nowhere. We're going to put this up in just this plain old area, nothing around it. Yet across M53, you have an historic village. Okay. I recently heard that Bruce Township put a moratorium on them. So I'm wondering what responsibility we have to be a good neighbor to the surrounding communities, who I'm sure they think it will impact them. My main concern are the schools. They are close to this. And I was reading some research on it. The data centers don't create a huge loud noise, but what they do is a steady, low, yes, and which is detrimental to kids who are trying to learn. They don't have anything blaring at them, but they have it just this hum around them, which distracts them from thinking, focusing, and things like that. So my main concern are the kids, let alone talking about the community. The last thing I wanted to bring up is reading the Harvard Business Review, who has started doing research on the health consequences of the data centers that are there. And they have found increased cancer, increased respiratory problems, and a higher number of miscarriages. So I know business is business, but we're talking about individuals like yourself that I think must live close by also. So I'm wondering, what's your priority? Bringing businesses in, or is it being a partner in listening to the individuals that live in the area, that have made this a home, who buy things here and make it what it is? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Carol Garcia. I'm an elected precinct delegate, and I'm here to represent a lot of people in Washington Township, Bruce and Romeo, that work and can't be here, or they're, sick. My thing is health and safety, that's number one. I live on Van Dyke, right close to M53. That's a little close for comfort to me and a lot of people that are in this room today. As you can see, the last several meetings that we've had, people are opposed to this. My main reason I'm opposed to this is because of environmental factors, health and safety. And in the bylaws for Washington Township, Article 2, it states that the general purpose of the Washington Township Planning Commission shall be to guide and promote the efficient, coordinated development of this township in a manner which will best promote the health, safety, and general welfare of its people. That's very important. And if this data center comes in here, that's not happening. Palantir can come in here and talk the big talk because they live in Denver, Colorado, but I bet you they don't have a data center by their homes. This will affect all townships and surrounding areas. The toxins that come from these turbines and these data centers will be horrific. You just go online. I've sent email after email to the Planning Commission and to you guys with all the videos in there of what's happening in these places that have these data centers. It's horrific. They said that people go to bed at night and in the summertime they hear bzz, bzz, bzz. Now in the wintertime it's different. It sounds like a car starting. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Now can you imagine trying to sleep and you hearing this? It'll make you crazy. People are having heart attacks. People are getting anxiety and all kinds of health issues. Yeah, they talk a big talk, money, money. Nobody wants their blood money here. To me, it's demonic. This is demonic, this data center. And it'll be a nightmare for the rest of our lives, not to mention everybody's going to move the heck out of here because they don't want to live by it. We came out here to live in a peaceful environment. I worked in Detroit. I know what it's like. I worked for GM for 39 years. So I know what it's like to live in an environment like that. I was there every day. It was half of my life there. But I can tell you right now, I don't want it up here. And if it is, we're all going to fight this because we don't want it. And I know you guys will do the right thing. I'm praying that you do the right thing for us. And I have a lot of information. I'm not going to read it all because I've read a lot of stuff in the past. But I will give each one of you, please educate yourselves because we do not want it here. Please do your work diligently. You work for the people that pay the taxes. You serve us. So do your job. Do the right thing for the people. And I thank you for what you do, because I know it's hard. It's a big decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. My name is Holly Bishop, and I'm a terrified resident at 33 in Powell. I'm here to speak regarding the rezoning and the data center development and the significant impacts that it'll have on our community's quality of life and health. I pray, beg, and plead all of you to say no. No thank you even to any data proposals that come through here. There are fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, flooding, landslides, blizzards, chemical spills, train derailments, a pandemic, and other natural disasters that are totally out of our control. We can control if a structure's built. You can say yes or no to that. We have to learn from our neighboring states and towns that are experiencing data centers in their area. Death comes unexpectedly unless a data center comes to town. Our fundamental human rights and basic needs for survival will be in jeopardy. We all need clear air, safe water, nutritious food, and shelter to survive. And you have the ability and power to take all of that from us. We know that the data centers are an eyesore. There's been lack of transparency and lack of jobs will come with it. The investors have backed out and buildings become obsolete due to rapid tech evolution. We know there will be a loud and constant noise noted to pulse in the winter months and hum in the warmer months, loud enough to exceed the maximum safe exposures. We know there are complaints of sleep disturbances, thus impacting quality of life and ability to be a productive citizen. We know there will cause contaminants in the water and could run our wells dry, as it uses equivalent to the amount of 100 to 300,000 households daily. We know the water will no longer be going back into the base flow of the rivers and streams, which has ecological impacts and supply issues. Evaporating cooling also leaves behind high concentrations of salt and contaminants, creating water quality issues. We know the Great Lakes hold 20% of the Earth's water, and they want our water to cool these machines. We know there'll be a strain on the grid and the infrastructure. We know that the data centers are massive consumers of electricity, and they'll be rolling brown and blackouts with rising bills. We know they may exceed safe levels of EMF radiation. We know the diesel generators will be running 24/7, polluting our air, crops, land, water, and lungs, as they are known to give off nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, carcinogenic waste, airborne soot, and fine particulate matter, all of which will aid in a slow and painful deterioration of our bodies. Our bodies don't absorb chemicals well, we all know this. And there's been reported diseases which can lead to death. We know there's been an increased number in miscarriages, infertility, birth defects, respiratory diagnosis, cancer diagnosis, tinnitus, hearing loss, dementia, and overall decline in mental and physical health conditions. I don't want to scratch my head pretending that I don't know why 5-year-old Johnny died from a new rare cancer. We have real farmers and tradespeople and motivated youth that are valued and skilled. People live here for a healthier and happier life. Please don't hurt us. Please don't destroy this town. Please do good for the people and our resourceful community. Be the leader, save the community. Please say no.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Carlos Pisano in 58172 Dulwich here in Washington. I just want to bring up two items. The first one is the date of the rally to stop the data center has changed from January 23rd to February 8th due to the dangerous weather we're expecting. The location is the overpass on 26 Mile over M53. This rally will be peaceful, lawful, and respectful. Let's show up for our community and make our voices heard. The second one is, if you would like to volunteer as a community captain to get the word out, please stay after and connect with the group in the back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No, sorry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel. First address I'd like to give is my home in Romeo. The second is my business in Washington Township. I own the Milestones Autism Center right down at 31 Mile, between 30 and 31 Mile. And I can look at this board and say that I'm pretty sure you guys all know, after everything that was said, that we all know the safety concerns that everyone has. But I'd like to approach it from a different perspective. Not only is it my home, but it's also my business and my entire livelihood. I have over 50 employees that I house. I have over 30 children that I serve, and all of that would be gone if this data center was approved. I'm also in the process of purchasing a lot in Washington Township, right behind the Kroger, to continue to grow and expand my business, as well as add a plaza for other businesses that would like to join this township. That would also be not an option for me if that data center was approved. So it's not only me, but my 50 employees that would no longer have a job, my 30-plus family members that have no other autism place to go in this area. All of that would be gone for our community if this data center was approved. So please keep that in mind. Thanks, Michelle, for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm going once, twice. Good, okay, thank you. Elected officials update, community announcements. Our next meeting, February 4th, we have our CDBG. A lot of the nonprofits will come. CDBG is a Community Development Block Grant Program. A lot of the nonprofits, the county awards a sum of money to each municipality depending on population and use. We have a CDBG committee here, which is Audrey, is it Dennis? And John. And, but we'll all listen next meeting February 4th at 6:30. You'll hear a lot of the different community nonprofit groups come and present their case for part of these funding. This Saturday is the Romeo Hockey varsity game. It's the Watchdog game. It's a fundraising game for cancer research. They're raising funds for that. It's a 6 o'clock game. It's at the Suburban Macomb at 25 in Broughton, if anybody wants to go. They got a pretty good goalie there. It's my son. So you guys it's a big fundraiser. If you guys can come, it'd be a great event. It's all the proceeds go to the Rainbow Foundation in Rochester. It's for charity for the Cancer Foundation there.
That's great.
You mentioned your coffee hour?
Yeah, next Friday, every month I do a coffee chat. Anybody's welcome to come. I usually do it always the last Friday of the month. It'll be next Friday at 9 a.m. Anybody's welcome to come. And
last Friday was National Law Enforcement Day. So if you see a police officer, please make sure you thank them for their services. They're here to protect us. The sheriff does a great job here. So thank you very much for all your services that you do to protect our communities. And not to leave out the fire department, but theirs is coming up soon. But I just want to say thank you to the police officers on that. Sam already touched on the cancer game. That's a great event to go to. If you've never been to the football one, the hockey game is just as exciting. You get to see kids out there playing for a cause, and the cause is to cure cancer for kids. 1 in 5 kids will not survive cancer. St. Baldrick's is coming up, so if you get an opportunity, you want to participate in that, you can do so. That's March 14th, so more information will be coming from that tomorrow. And I also want to thank everyone who spoke, everyone who was here for giving their opinions, their thoughts, and I appreciate everything that you've said. So I really do. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I had an email from Kendi Cook, who is part of the Macomb PDR Committee, which is the Purchase of Development Rights Committee. And he invited all elected officials, township officials, and residents to the Richmond Township Hall Friday, January 30th at 12 o'clock because he's part of the PDR Committee, which is the Farmland Preservation Committee. And a family, Ken and his wife Nancy Kuhlman, will be enrolling 40 acres of their 130-acre farm into the PDR program. And the PDR program, what it does, it preserves farmland, and those parcels can never be used for anything but farming in perpetuity. So it's an event open to all people, January 30th, 12 o'clock noon at the Richmond Township Hall. And I would like to say that on December 19th, the clerk's office, we were audited by the Macomb County Election Bureau, and we had a very good audit from our November election. And I'd like to thank my excellent Deputy Mary Garames, who's the queen of elections. She's so good. I've learned a lot from her. And I want to thank my internal staff and the chairs, the co-chairs, the AV counting board, the receiving board, so many people who come out and help with elections. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
What is it, Monday is, we have our ZBA meeting on Monday, February 4th. Okay. We do have a ZBA meeting Monday, February 4th at 6:30 right here at Township Hall. There are 2 items on the agenda. The Planning Commission meeting, as most of you know, has been postponed. The applicants have not submitted to come back, so that's why there's no February meeting. Stay tuned, check our website. I send out e-newsletters. Personally, we'll post the next meeting. The clerk always obviously advises of meetings as well. So we also have our marquee up front. The next meeting will be the second Thursday in March if they present, if they come back to present before the Planning Commission. Anything else? Otherwise, there's no correspondence.
I think the only one here is what hoping for a school day is this little one right here on Friday. So I hope you get it. Yeah.
So thank you guys all for coming out. We all live here. We all hear you. It's not falling on deaf ears. With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion adjourned. Thank you guys. We'll see you next meeting.